Yeah, I had just watched a video of that Redman Elite or
Oh,
Relight.
Relight.
What's it? What's
Yeah. Have you
is
ever
it?
tried it?
Relight? Yes.
Okay, because I love it, and if you haven't, or even if you have, I'll send you samples in the mail. But it's
Oh, cool.
legit. They are
Yeah.
one of my sponsors, but also I just love their product. And they came out here back in April and just did like a little get to know Ariel, we believe in you, Ariel type video.
Yes. Yeah. It was really good.
They
You're
were
really well spoken. I loved
phenomenal.
listening to it. Yeah.
Thanks.
And I loved your story. It's just really cool. I didn't
Thanks.
realize that we were at the same regionals in Salt Lake City back in 2018.
Really? I didn't realize that either till you told me.
Yeah.
Were you always
That's
in
the
the
first
central?
time. Yes. Yeah, Louisiana. So we were grouped in with Texas.
How many years did you do regionals?
The first time I qualified was 2017.
Okay.
And then so individually.
Yeah.
I'd been to like on a team a couple times before 2017. 2017 was the first time I went individually, which was in Dallas.
Yeah.
Logan Collins, Sean Sweeney,
Yep.
and
Roy Gamboa, Adrian
Roy.
Conaway, right?
Yeah,
He was there?
all them boys. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Um, Tommy Venus. That was the first time he qualified that year. This is his
Yeah.
rookie year. And then Salt Lake City was the following year, and the first time I qualified.
So you're an
Which
OG too.
Yeah, I've been around for a while. I got started young, like right out of high school. I started CrossFit in
Okay.
2013. My brother got me into it, so that's when I started. But yeah, that was and you were pregnant that year.
Yeah, so we're kind of the same. I started CrossFit 2012, but I didn't get to regionals until 2014. And then I had a 5-year run, 2014 to 2018, at regionals, just trying to make it to the games, make it to the next
Yeah,
level. And I would just always fall short. Like I'd be kind of close, but never enough to like be in a qualifying position.
yeah. And then
And yeah.
this is the story we're going to talk about. So welcome back to the Keep Chasing podcast, everybody, where we explore what it takes to push through limits, arise from setbacks, and keep chasing the best version of yourself. Today, our guest is one of the fiercest athletes in the CrossFit world, Arielle Loewen. From postpartum to podium, Arielle's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. She's a wife, a mom, and a multiple-time CrossFit Games athlete who embodies the grit, grace, and grind this show is all about. Today, we dive into her mindset, her training, what drives her to keep chasing greatness, both in the arena and at home. Thank you, Arielle Loewen, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I like the postpartum to podium. I haven't heard that one yet.
Really?
No, that's
Yeah.
good.
I didn't know that story until today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So,
It's pretty cool.
yeah, walk us through that. Like, you found out you were pregnant in 2018 just after regionals. Like, you had just competed at regionals, felt something was off, and
Yeah.
then go back home and you're like, oh, snap,
Yeah, it was kind
this
of
is real.
crazy. I tried for 5 years to get to the games. I was a student in college getting my MBA, so I had all the time in the world. Worked part-time. So I was like, I'm going to pursue this CrossFit thing. And 2018 was the big year for me because I was graduating with my MBA. I had trained hard to go to regionals. Okay, I'm either going to be a business professional or a CrossFit Games athlete. So, graduated, showed up to Salt Lake City, Utah, the one that you were at for regionals. And day one went all right. You know, we started with the triple threes. It was kind of a brutal first event. And then day two had handstand walks over the ramp in it.
The
Yeah,
obstacles.
and historically, I'm pretty good on my hands. I was a former gymnast, so that would be a strength for me. And I just could not figure out how to handstand walk. So that was the first inkling, like something's wrong. And then the third day, everything just felt off body wise. And I remember telling Dylan, who's my husband now, when I was like, I don't even need to take a pregnancy test. I know I'm pregnant. Everything feels weird. This is not normal. And then we get home, find out I'm pregnant, end up being like, okay, if I couldn't make it to the games, being a single, independent teenager with no worries or responsibilities, there's no way I'm going back to the games after such a bad injury. I kind of identified it as. So I retired, changed my last name, got married, and then it wasn't over. But the funny thing
Yeah,
is, it's like getting married was a big deal for me because I had this huge picture in my head of I'm going to be Ariel Armstrong at the games. Armstrong jersey, like that's the best last name you'd want for a CrossFit jersey. So getting married
absolutely.
and changing my last name was like the final tombstone of like, you're done. Put this to bed. Now you have Lowen. It's not as cool as Armstrong, and just be a mother, wife, whatever that looks like.
So, what called you back into it? It's funny how I
Isn't
know
it
faith is
funny?
big in your life.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't say anything called me back, but all I knew was showing up to the affiliate class. So after I had Blakely, once I was cleared from the doctor, I just showed up at the affiliate and just made it a point to go Monday through Friday to the noon class and stay disciplined just so I would look good in shorts and a t-shirt again. And so I did that for
yeah.
about a year and a half, prioritized being accountable, showing up to the gym, and just eating well. And I was like, oh, I feel better than I ever have before. I'm at the affiliate, let's just do the open. And then I do the open, qualify for quarterfinals. So I wouldn't say I ever was like, this is my time. It was like, I'm here. I feel good, look good. Let's see if I can perform good.
I think that, and I'm gonna get a little bit religious here for a
Yeah,
second. It's funny, whenever we think we're gonna call our shot in life, God always has a different plan for us, doesn't he?
yeah, totally.
And
Go ahead.
like those prayers that we prayed for so long, they always get answered, but it's never in the way that we expect them to be answered.
Exactly. And reflecting back now, if I were to have made it 2014 to 2018, if you would have interviewed me, if I made it to the games, won an event, it would have been, I work so hard. I'm so great. Look at what I've achieved. Of course I made it. And it would have been very I focused. Once I kind
Hmm.
of like let that part of me die and been like, okay, God, I'm going to focus on my family, my fitness, and then my health will come last. And he's like, okay, you've prioritized the right things. Now your mindset's the right way. Your body is moving great. Now we're just going to glorify it even more. And it's almost more
Yeah,
freeing because we're not centered in our accomplishments or how great we are. It's like, no, this is just a bonus. And you just have to treat it that way.
yeah. Do you think? I mean, so just like this week, I've been thinking about like, whenever we focus solely on the result that we're trying to achieve, in whatever aspect of life that we want to like target it at, whether it's like getting that job, getting that degree, getting qualifying for the CrossFit Games, we focus on like just that end like so heavily. We put so much pressure on ourselves that we have to achieve it, and whenever like you were blessed in a sense of like
Right.
you got to just focus on the process and like enjoying and falling in love with like the work that you did. You said you started eating healthier, just started just really in like loving just the game that you were playing,
Yeah.
and you weren't thinking about trying to qualify for the CrossFit Games. You were just thinking about like just being fit and being better. And it's weird what happens with the mind shift of I'm not like yes, the goal might be to, and maybe even like for you, it might not have been like qualify for the CrossFit Games. Like the goal just shifted to let me just do the best I have with like the hour that I've got today.
Exactly. And that's what I don't want to, I don't have anybody to preach it to because, like, right now in my season, I'm not coaching anybody. But I feel like the trap in the CrossFit culture today is like, you need two a days, you need more, you need this, when it's like, you just have to be really intense for a little chunk of time and it's enough. It's like you always
Oh
want
yeah,
more, but it's like, no, you don't need more.
yeah. Every time I've taken a year off, I've gotten better.
Isn't that
I
funny?
just like stopped worrying about like trying to qualify or like I'm just doing fitness for the love of it because I just just I'm trying to get better at running, trying to get a little stronger, like whatever it is. And end up actually like you end up learning more when you're less focused on like trying to win or qualify or whatever it might be. When you pull yourself away from that goal and like you get a more holistic picture of like these are the little things that like I want to get better at, like this challenge. And there's things that scare you too, because you take a little bit of that pressure and anxiety off of I've got to be better at this. I've got it like, but I'm so afraid of like doing that thing and not getting better. And when you
Exactly.
take like that little aspect of like anxiety and fear away from it, and you're just like, okay, well I'm just gonna do it just because I want to get better at it, and like, well, lo and behold, you end up getting better at the thing that you had avoided for years, because you just like took that pressure off. So
Right.
it's really cool that like you have that little story and like not little, massive story. Like that's incredible because what started there was awesome. Like what you've done over the past, let's see, seven years since
Yeah.
2018 is quite impressive.
Isn't that crazy?
Four times CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
You won. What was it? The Mac?
I won the
No.
The Granite
Granite Games. You
Games.
won Granite Games
Yeah.
in 2021
Yeah, exactly.
and qualified for your first CrossFit Games.
Yeah, and I've been ever since, which is wild. But
Yeah.
like you said, when your mindset shifts, you find more joy in the process if you're focused on like the blessing that it is instead of the I have to do good, I have to do this. So it's just staying in that mindset.
Do you think that having that mindset has allowed you to not get burnt out on the process?
I think so, but it also kind of sounds like you. You just enjoy fitness. It's like some people
Yeah.
make it a job and then it feels like a job and then you're burnt out. But if you truly like throwing down, doing EMOMs, throwing down, just doing cardio, it's just like part of your day.
Yeah. And then you like it's hard to get burnt out when you're having fun every day.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong.
And
As it leads up to competition time, the training is harder. So I wouldn't say I get burnt out. I just get like, okay, this is going to hurt really bad. And you just have to embrace the hurt. And it's not always like kumbaya. Like, it's
yeah.
like I had that moment Monday. I was like, man, I really don't want to do this. And then you kind of talk to yourself and you're like, okay, these are your options. Just start the clock, or you can go inside and sit down. And then you're going to be really mad because you didn't even do it. So it's like, no, I'm just going to start the clock and get over it.
Do you ever go into workouts that like are terrifying to you? Because I know you whenever you write your own program, right? You're self
Yeah.
coached,
Yeah.
which is really cool. There's
Thanks.
very few of those left out there.
There aren't many left,
Um,
but it's like my secret
uh-uh.
sauce.
Yeah. It takes a special kind of person to. It takes someone who knows themselves incredibly well and can be extremely honest with themselves
Right.
and humble with themselves and say, okay, this is where you're bad at, and this is what you've got to work on.
And you have to work on it.
Now, you have to be at your level. You do.
Right.
Whenever you write workouts that really exploit like a weakness of yours, how like you get nervous before them?
I program it with a strength. So, like, sandbag cleans used to be a big weakness of mine, and I worked on them when I was fresh. Once I felt comfortable with the technique, then I would throw them in the Metcon. But I would program like the handstand walk with a sandbag clean or a run with a sandbag clean. Something I know isn't going to be like demoralizing. Like I'm not going to go weakness, weakness, weakness. I'm going to go,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to run, get myself fatigued. Now, how does the sandbag feel under fatigued? This is how it should feel. Okay, you're good. You worked on it. And then once I get more comfortable with the weakness, I'll throw it in a harder fashion. But it's like there's levels to it.
Yep. So you build that foundation of working on it like separately, out of like fresh, like you said, not
Exactly.
fatigued. Get the movement patterns, build up a little bit of confidence. You're like, all right, I've got this down. Let's add a little bit of like complexity into it. So I'm going to work in something that like I really love,
Yep.
running. And I'm going to get really out of breath and then start working that.
Yeah.
And then you start getting a little bit of confidence there, and then you're like, all right, I got this now.
Yeah. And then
So that's how you approach that process.
it is. But I have two people in my life who I trust to call out my weaknesses. So I might not always see a weakness, but I trust my husband and then my training partner, Joelle, to be like, hey, at the competition, you sucked at this. And I have to be like, okay, this is coming from a place of love because they want me to feel better. If you're my sister and you tell me that, I'll be like, hey, you can't tell me that. You don't even know what I do in the gym. You don't understand the process, you know? So certain people
Yeah.
can call it out and I'll accept it. Like I won't get mad because I do need people keeping me accountable. But my new favorite
Yeah.
thing that I feel like I've self-discovered. So we both are EMOM based. So you love a good EMOM, I love good EMOM. My favorite is like a every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. So now what I've been doing is a death by. So like for example, Monday, you have a 3 minute window to run a 400, do 8 burpee box jumps. You rest whatever's left over. The next 3 minute window, you run a 400, you do 9 burpee box jumps, rest. The next one, you run a 400, you do 10. So it's an ascending EMOM, but like you have to get 5 rounds of it. So it'll go like this, and then it gets harder. So it's like in the beginning, you feel good, but
Yeah.
towards the end, the rest gets shorter. You get tired, but you still have to hold the same pace to get more work done. So it's like
And
a
it wasn't
slow.
to failure. It was for 5 rounds. So you went
It
up to
Yeah, so for example, it was every 3 minutes times 12, and there's two different ones I'll do. The first part was a 400-meter run, and then you do 8 burpee box jump, and then you'll do part two. 400-meter run, 8 burpee box jump, part two. 400-meter run, then you'd go 9, 9, run, 10, 10. So 12
That's
rounds.
nasty.
It's so nasty. But the only thing that's going to quit is your heart rate. Like, you're not going to fail a burpee
Yeah.
box jump. You're not going to fail a 400. It's just like, how bad do you want to hurt? And just shut your brain up.
I'm gonna steal that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give that one a shot.
I'll send you a
Yeah.
picture of it because it was paired with another part to where it's like, okay, this will blow up the legs and the arms, and then you do this. I'll send it to you. But the reverse death by has been something I do training for the games that's demoralizing, but also helps me so much.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with like the mindset getting close into the games where you do start getting like that stress, that anxiety, that adrenal fatigue, um, and you start thinking about okay, like this is temporary. I only got like so much left to go. How do you work through that mentally?
I really like training. So I don't hate training. I just say no to a lot of things come games time. Like I know myself, I can only do one podcast a day. If I schedule too much of my day, I just get overwhelmed. And then I'm like, I can't think about being a good mom or wife or CrossFit athlete and a business person. So I learned to say no. And I also don't train quite as crazy as the other games athletes. So I'm in the gym from like 11 to 2, and then I'll rest the rest of the day and maybe do a small piece in the evening. So I like prioritize intensity over volume.
I like that. Most people are like a lot of these guys. We've watched athletes over the years go from being part-time games competitors, where they had a profession, and then they go full time, and then their next year, 2 or 3 years doesn't beat the year that like when they were working part time.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people are in the gym all day, like 8 to 5. But I
Yeah,
would say 50% of that is probably on their phones. Whereas it's like, yeah, you
yeah,
might be in the gym a long time, but like your work to rest ratio to goofing around to setting up. Whereas like I don't have all day to be in the gym. Blakely stays at
yeah.
home with me. I set the clock, and once this is done, I set the clock again and get this done. So it's like, are you intentional or are you just there all day because you have nothing else to do?
Yep, absolutely. And there's something about like having, okay, I only have so much time in the gym today that I've actually got to make the most of it. 'Cause like, dude, I noticed on days if I don't have like work scheduled, and I'm like, okay, I got all day to go work out or to knock this out, I end up wasting a lot more time
I was
than on
gonna
the
say it's
days where I
almost
have like the
worse.
most. It is, and it's like actually I get more anxiety about it too,
Right. And you think
because like I
about it all
just
day.
yeah. Like yeah, and man, you actually get to pull yourself out of the gym,
It,
like mentally,
yeah, and
which
it's
is a
kind of
big.
refreshing. Like these are my work hours. Now go live your life and be a normal human and forget about the gym. Because I think it'd get
Is,
overwhelming being in the gym so much.
is it hard for you sometimes to pull yourself out of the gym,
It's super
like out of the
easy.
headspace? Is it really?
Yeah, I don't think I'm a very deep thinker, not in a bad way, but I don't overthink at all. So like once I
Yeah.
leave the gym, my brain is gone from the gym. And once I step into the gym, then I'll think about it.
What about whenever you're in the gym? Do you think about what's going on outside of the gym?
Usually when I'm working out is when I think of the best reels to make.
Is that where you're most creative?
Yeah, that's like where my creative headspace is because anything to distract me from the pain. Because like
Yeah.
you know your legs hurt, you know your arms hurt. Okay, let's think like who do I need to post for? Let's try and think of something creative. Or if I do something stupid in the gym, I'm like, how can I recreate that to be funny? Just always goofing. Like I notice it gets dark. When the workouts get hard, everything hurts. And if you can just keep your mind a little bit more positive, it makes it a little bit more fun.
I love that. I always struggled. I always had a really hard time with no matter where I was, whether I was if I was at work, I was thinking about training. Whenever I was training, I was thinking about work.
Interesting.
And so it was one of the reasons I stopped competing. Um,
Really?
cause yeah, I was never present wherever I was.
Even what about in the evenings when you're doing nothing? What would you think about
Working, training,
all the time?
always, all the time. Um,
Is it better
like I
now? that a competing squad?
No.
No.
I don't think about training like I used to.
Okay.
But I think about work constantly. Um, like I, that's something I've always struggled with, and like I like that, and I love people who can turn it off
Yeah.
and like quiet the noise, and I've never been able to.
Interesting.
Someone told it to me. They said you have too many tabs on your browser opened,
Yeah.
and like I can't press the X button. And so, and you remind me of my wife's father and my wife actually. Like she can turn off work in an instant. Like she can be present. And her dad, gave me some incredible insight. Like he's never been like really stressed or anxious about anything, but has done like incredibly well with his life. He's like, yeah, I'm just here. Like I'm in the present always, like just doing the best with like what I have in the moment. And I envy that. I envy the ability to be present, like in the gym, present with your family, present with your friends, and I haven't figured out how to turn it off yet. And it's something I'm working towards.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's rainbows and butterflies to tell you things, but I'm like, how do you tangibly do that? That would be tricky.
Um, I think prayer is a big part. Or if you're not religious, meditation.
Yeah.
Just like looking inward and being conscious of it is big. To recognize like, okay, like I'm sitting here with my family or I'm in the gym. Let me be where I am and actually make the most of like the moment right now. Because like what I realized over the past like 30 years is I've just been somewhere else.
Hmm.
Like the vacation I want to go on is just to be somewhere and not think about what's over there and just like be in the chair that I'm in and with the people that I'm with. And I struggle really bad with that.
Is
And
that a change of location? Like, could you do that at the beach, or is it a daily
um
thing?
no, like that's why like the vacation's not a destination like
Hmm.
physically. Like I don't care where I go, I just want to be there. you know, like
Interesting.
actually like mentally be there. And I do you think like to me that seems like a superpower for you? Are
I
you an
I think
anxious
so
human?
too. I'm not at all, which is great. But like, I have my own struggles that I deal with.
Of
But
course,
what I've
of course.
learned is like the 2018 me before child, before being married, was very self-focused of like, I want to control this, I want to do this. Now I've tried to approach it with a mindset of thankfulness. So like, oh crap, I got 23rd in this workout. Okay, but 24th was right behind me by 1 second. So thank goodness I ran across the line and at least didn't get 24th. Like just trying to find the silver linings because they're there. Like my brain is going to go to the negative first. So just like training that to go to the
Yeah.
positive. Like a workout got released yesterday and I'm like, this workout is stupid. I literally told that to my husband. And he was like, okay, you're being very negative right now. Let's find something good in it and just change your mindset, change your brain. And it's like, okay, I can do double crossies. These are great. I love toes to bar. Like, I'm always going to go negative, but I'm training to go positive. So you just, who
Yeah.
cares? It's a workout. I'm going to do it regardless. I'm going to show up and get it done. Why complain about it? Just show up and do it.
That requires releasing control of the outcome though.
True. True.
What do you think helps you like and I think this might be where like your lack of anxiety like overarching anxiety comes from is you can't control the results.
Right. And I know what
So,
gives me peace is I know whatever I do in training means nothing. It happens 3, 2, 1, go on the competition floor. You give your best effort, that's your result. And I have peace knowing that I'm training really hard in the gym. So whenever I get to that moment, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to do all I can because that's all I can do.
did you have that mindset whenever before you had your daughter?
No, I would say I didn't really have that mindset until I started training from the home gym, programming for myself, and then getting a strength programmer because I am really confident in how I attack my weaknesses and my programming and how great it is for me, to where it's like, I'm working really hard. Now I'm going to show y'all how hard I'm working. Whereas before I was a little bit
Yeah.
too reliant on other people. And it's easy to blame other people when you do bad.
So, did you have anxiety ever or have you always kind of been like more even keel?
I've always been even keel, which is nice.
Cuz I know you shifted your priorities, your four F's,
Yeah.
Faith, family, friends, and fitness.
Right.
And and to me, it seems, you know, the more you focus on your faith and things that are external to you, your friends and your family and your friends, the less that like that last little F matters as much. And like it can take away some of those, just that heaviness of it, you know?
Right.
And has faith always been like a big part of your life?
I would say so. It didn't really get personal until after I had Blakely and having a husband and being like, how are we going to shape our household? But I also think, as bad as this sounds, I grew up in a beautiful home. Like, have I had a lot of struggles? No. Do I have a lot of reasons to have anxiety? No. Like, my family always had meals for me. They let me do any sport I wanted. And now I have a husband who works really hard, so I have a beautiful house. So I hope my mindset isn't just because I'm really comfortable. Like, I hope if I'm tested, I won't be anxious. But I also think, like, growing up in a really secure household also helps the brain.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. But there's a lot of people out there who have grown up in households that are secure and they didn't have to worry about their next meal or maybe paying for college or like what they were going to do when they were older. Like they kind of had like that path like laid out and like what they were going to do. Yet sometimes those are the most like stressed out humans and most
True.
anxious humans.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but I also try and just like keep my mind sharp, as weird as that
Yeah.
is. Like, I'm trying to stay in the word. What does the word want me to do? Like, the word being the Bible. Okay, let's
Yeah.
try and live that way. Let's try and get better. Let's try not to talk bad about people because we're not supposed to. Like, little things like that.
And doing them because not because they're the right thing or because like there's going to be like punishment if you don't do them, but
Right.
because you have a better life if you do them.
Yeah, and my friend uses this analogy and it stuck with me. There's two different types of storm clouds in life. So like one you have no control over, which is like as bad as it sounds, getting cancer. Like you don't have control over that storm cloud. And then you have another storm cloud that is you have control over. So like if I cheat on my husband, there's going to be a consequence and my life will fall apart because of that storm cloud. So, and if you live according to the Bible, you have a lot less self inflicted storm clouds. So, just trying to
Absolutely.
keep the peace, not let temptation come in any capacity.
And it leads to a more purposeful life.
Yeah,
100%.
right.
Because whenever you're serving something like your friends, your family, your community, and you definitely serve your community of mothers incredibly well.
I'm trying
Like
to.
you do.
Thanks.
Um, uh, Pretty strong for a mom.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's my new thing.
Um,
And kind of like after the games, everything was broken. There's division everywhere between podcasters and you name it. And I was like, man, how can I get rid of the negativity and just give back to the local moms in the gym? And so I've just been trying to encourage them, empower them, be the light. Because that is very much my story. I kind of thought after I retired in 2018, I'm done. I can't be stronger. And it's like, no, you can still do great things.
how did you overcome like that doubt in yourself that you could be, you know, a strong human after having a baby? Because
Yeah.
that is a tough thing on the body. I
Yeah.
mean, it really like pregnancy, birth, you know, when the baby's young, you're really physically and mentally and emotionally tested to some extreme limits.
You are. You
And then
go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, you're
No,
you're
you go ahead.
tested mentally, like you're no longer living for yourself. You are responsible for keeping a baby alive. And then physically, I equate it to like the worst injury you could get. You're healing like everything internally, and it takes 9 months to grow a baby. You got to wait at least 9 months to feel normal again. And but it's a slow process, and it was just like giving myself grace and saying like, okay, I'm going to give it 9 months. And then 9 months came and went. I didn't feel great, and I'm like, okay, we'll see how I feel after a year and a half. But for me, it took like a year and a half to feel like totally normal. I feel strong again. I love how I look. Blakely sleeps great through the night. And I think we see a lot of people who do it in like 2 months, and it's like, what the heck? But that was not my reality.
Everyone's different.
Hmm.
I think like that comparison game of like looking at what other people do and like how long they do it for. that's like a dangerous game because like you feel a little bit less adequate if you're not back in like 3 months or 4 months or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
What like what were the processes that you could control so that you could get back to feeling strong after having Blakely?
I think just having a schedule. Like I wasn't nobody gets a night of sleep with a 3 month old, 6 months old, but I still showed up to the gym at noon. It's just like,
Yeah,
okay, suck it up. This is your reality now. You can stay at home and feel like crap, look like crap, or you can suck it up, go to the gym for 1 hour a day, even if you don't
yeah.
have sleep.
Did when you started back at the gym, how different was it in terms of like the load that you could handle, the volume, the intensity, and things like that?
it it was super humbling because my first day back there were toes to bar, and I'm like, oh, I was a former regional athlete, I'm gonna do toes to bar, and I could like do one at a time, which still might have been good for postpartum, I don't know, but just realizing like, no, you suck right now, and that's okay, you're supposed to, you're healing, and just like not being able to clean 185 9 months postpartum when that used to be an easy power clean. So it's like, oh crap, I am weak, but it's okay. You don't need to be fit. You don't need to be strong. You just want to look good. So just like having negative thoughts, but then combating them, kind of like you were talking about, and being like, no, it doesn't matter if you're strong. It matters if you can play with your baby on the playground or read to them at night, hold them walking into Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, you really just you took that playbook and you're like, okay, like these are the things I can control. I can't control what my body's doing in a lot of aspects. I can't control like what has happened, but what I can control is simply my mindset and my effort that I come into each day with.
Exactly. And I always told myself, like, it could be worse. You could have twins. Then
Oh
you
my
really
God.
wouldn't get sleep. You could have a toddler and a newborn. So just like reframing your mind of be thankful you have a healthy baby who is like great. You could have twins. You could have triplets. And I don't know how people do that with twins and
Oh my
triplets.
gosh. Yeah. We've got a 5.5 month old. He's
Okay.
our first little baby, and
Oh,
Chris and I talk all the time about like, dude, if we had two of them right
you
now,
imagine
like how?
how?
And then one of the things that my wife talks about a lot is if she was a single mother, like how do you go like we think about single mothers. I'm like, oh my God,
Right?
like that is what
Or even
like hats off.
yeah, single mothers who have to work 8 to 5
Yeah,
and then come home, take care of their baby, get the lunch ready. Like there's just so much.
yeah. So yeah, it's insane what mothers can do, and like I mean, y'all are amazing. From an emotional, physical, spiritual standpoint, like what y'all do daily is just I'm in a maze every day by watching. 'Cause like I think I'm a decently tough human, and there's days where I break down, and Kristen's like, "Hey, dude, hold it together."
You're
And
like,
I'm like,
I gotta be
I'm
strong.
breaking.
But I love the
Yeah,
analogy. I don't know if I said it in the relight video, but like the man is the head of the home. Like he's the rock, he's the head. The woman is the heart of the home. So it's like, what can I
absolutely.
do on a daily basis to show up in a loving way for my family? That's number one. And that's what I try and focus on, regardless if the games are going on or not.
I'm gonna get a little bit I don't know, maybe unorthodox on you here.
Okay.
Do you think that there's a feminine and masculine role in the household?
Oh, 100%. And I think the trap in today's society is women want to feel like they are everything. They're the breadwinner, they're this, they're the provider and the heart, and you can't do everything good. You're not designed to do everything good. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you can try that, but you're going to fail at doing it. You can't do everything good.
yeah,
It's like I was made to serve. And like I truly believe that, and our family thrives when I am
yeah.
serving the family.
That's actually something that I've shifted on recently.
You believe the opposite?
I No, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
And but I grew up. My mother is an eye surgeon, so she worked a lot whenever we were kids. We were all raised by nannies, like full live-in nannies from like Germany, Sweden, like all overseas nannies. My dad also worked full time, but he worked like sometimes from home, sometimes like on the job site, and he took care of us a lot, brought us to school, picked us up. and so it was a very different like household. Like my mother wasn't a stay-at-home mom, and so it's just very different. Like the way I grew up, I thought like all moms should work full time.
Right.
Kids should be taken care of by somebody else. Like, and it's a lot of families do work like that, and I'm realizing now that like it's a beautiful thing whenever a family's blessed enough that like the mother can stay home full time
Yeah.
and be a mom. And like even with Kristen, like it wasn't until this year, and we're 30 years old. Like this year was the first time I told her, I was like, hey, like when you're ready to stop working, it's fine. Like I like because she wants to be a full time mom like so bad. I'm like, hey, whenever
Oh.
you're ready, like take it. And it was hard for me to make that switch. I don't know why,
Well, you were raised
but it was
different. That was your,
yeah,
and you came out great. So it's not saying it was a bad environment by any means.
right.
It's just what you're used to. But
It's a very different, yeah,
it's rare to find a woman nowadays to say like I would love to stay home and take care of the family. So that's awesome that your wife said too that she wanted to.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, it was a weird realization for me. Like, oh, this is how maybe is a better way,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think where people get twisted up is it's not a lesser role. It's just a different role. You think you
Oh
have
my
to
God.
be making money to be like a big dog.
Provide value
Yeah, exactly.
to contribute. And I
Exactly.
realized that like the contribution that mothers have to their kids is like just so invaluable. Like mothers would rather work and send a child to daycare
Well, it's so much easier.
than like than like stay home. And
Yeah.
like being a mom is so hard. Like on the days whenever I'm at home and I'm not out on the job site, I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
how do you do this? You
And
know,
then being
it's like
intentional with, okay, we're going to actually learn something today. We're going to play outside. We're going to get dirty. We're going to clean up the dirty. Yeah. But
yeah.
it just sucks
So
because not everybody has that reality. Like some people just have to
mm.
work.
No, and yeah, that's another thing is like not everyone's in the position financially where they have to have that dual income
Right.
household. Like I mean, things are so expensive now, and like outside pressure and stressors, and like it's getting really hard for that to be like a reality for a lot of people,
Totally.
which is like it's crazy to think about. Like it's a very different cultural shift that's happened over the past 50, 60 years. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, just like that shift over, and I wonder how it plays a role in like how kids are raised.
I wonder as well, but it's like secretly hidden throughout movies nowadays too. Like we watched the new
Oh
Snow
yeah.
White, and on surface, it's cute, good music. But if you like look at the deeper meaning, Snow White don't need no man. Like she saved the kingdom on her own, and it's like that's just what they're telling people is like, you don't need a man. You can do it all yourself. It's like yeah, you can, but you're not going to thrive at everything.
Do you think that's a dangerous precedence that's being set by these massive corporations?
Yeah, there's just
And do you
woke.
think it's intentional?
I think it's Disney. So Disney is woke like through and through. So it's just, I wouldn't even say it needs to be talked about, but it's just showing, not with words, but with actions. Like, hey,
Hmm.
I will serve you because you're paying for the house. I will make dinner because I love you and I want you to thrive because I don't have to work.
Absolutely. Um, how do you like take an approach to parenting? Like you said to show by example. Is that the same approach you take to raising your daughter?
Yeah, that's been the hardest thing because words mean nothing. They look at your actions. So just like if I want her to not be on a screen all day, I'm not going to be on a screen all day. If I want her to play, she's going to play. If I want her to cook, I have to teach her how to cook. So just being very intentional with actions, but also Blakely's 6 now. So she's getting to the age where she hears my conversations, she understands. So the other day she called me out. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and sometimes my mom is a type A planner through and through. I am not. Like life just comes and I plan as I go. So I hung up the phone and I just was talking bad. Like there's nothing else to it. I was like, she plans too much. I'm so frustrated. I hate talking about plans. This is stressing me out. And then she basically just said, like, Mom, I don't like how you talk about Grammy right now. You need to apologize. And like, we don't talk mean about people. So I was just like,
Oh,
oh, like that's a heart wound. So I just have to be very cautious if I want to tell her be kind to people, I have to be kind to people because she can totally call me out for it.
Is that Blakely over there?
She's here. She's creeping around somewhere.
um, how do you want Blakely to grow up? And like when she walks out that door for the last time, like
Yeah.
what do you hope to have instilled in Blakely?
I hope she's grounded in who she is. So somebody could tell her, like, hey, you're ugly. And she'd be like, no, I'm beautiful. Like, your opinion is worthless. She knows her value, she knows her worth. And I really hope she can see people and be kind to them. Like, if you're in a room and somebody looks really awkward in the corner, she's not just going to sit with her friends. She might invite them to sit with her. So just being aware of how strong she is, but also look out for the weaker person and help them.
Is that what you do with Pretty Strong for a Mom?
I try to. I try to do that like practically in the game setting. There's a lot of rookies who are overwhelmed and it's scary and there's a lot. So I try and like befriend them and be like, anything you need, this is where we look, this is where we go. I try and live it out. Not always perfect,
That's
but
really awesome. I've always felt like such an outsider at the games every time.
well, everybody has their clicks. And so it sucks.
They
But
do,
guys
yeah.
are different, so it's also hard in that sense. And also it's a
It-
game. It's like I'm great,
yeah.
I'm confident, I'm not going to talk to you.
Do you feel do you feel like it's clicky on the girl side?
Oh, totally. And like I'm not gonna lie, I have my clique. Like if Spiegel is there, I'm
Yeah,
hanging out with Spiegel and that's it. But I
yeah.
try and be very open to like who looks lost, who needs help, who needs a hug, because it's bigger than just my performance out there.
That's beautiful. The fact that you can pull yourself away from the competition and still be like a kind, loving, caring human in that kind of setting where it's pretty cutthroat.
Oh yeah. I'm very different though. Like I don't think I hate to say think deeply because then I sound stupid, but I'm very lighthearted. So like me and Dylan are backstage goofing, telling jokes, making friends, laughing. Like we're not the type to be like, okay, this is how we strategize it. This is how we warm up. Nobody talk to me. I have my headphones in. It just doesn't work for me. I have to keep it lighthearted. I have to keep it fun.
Your whole premise on your competition is like enjoying that process.
Yeah, because it's
And
a
so
yeah.
how terrible would it be if you got to the pinnacle of your sport and like you reverted to something that was outside of like how you normally operate and you just got caught up in the race so in like like the competition and like you flipped like a different switch and became something different that day,
Right.
those 4 days of the CrossFit Games. And then like you look back and like you're like, man, that wasn't fun.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
enjoy that.
There still are
That'd be
parts.
tough.
Like, do I enjoy the whole weekend of the CrossFit Games? No. But I have to find the little moments of joy. Because, I mean, it is
Yeah,
stressful, it is a lot, but it's like we have to keep it
it's a grind.
lighthearted. Otherwise, it's going to break us.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what was it like the first year you qualified,
It was a lot.
2021?
There was a lot I didn't know. Like, you had to prepare your own food, have it backstage ready to eat. You probably won't be able to shower in between events. I didn't realize we would be locked in the basement, so call it, for so much of the weekend. We don't see the sunlight unless we're out there running. It was a lot. But now I kind of go into it knowing, okay, you're going to be locked in a basement for 4 days and you're going to go perform for the people and it's okay.
Yeah, that first year I qualified, I had no food like on the orientation day, and we were there for like 5 hours. I was like, oh my
Oh.
gosh, I'm done.
And nobody tells you, but everybody has their
Mm-mm.
coolers prepared. Like they know you need
Oh, they
coolers.
got coolers on rollers. Like they
Exactly.
got food for 3 days.
Yep. And some
I'm like,
people
man,
even bring like a huge Yeti suitcase just full of recovery tools. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
these people know what they're doing. Does it help?
yeah.
I don't know. But
But they're prepared.
they got it.
Um, what did you place that first year in 2021?
I think 14th. So I didn't get cut.
That's in, that's incredible.
Yeah, I was really happy with it. So I think 14th, 11th,
Third.
3rd, and then I pulled out last year.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to talk about last year?
if you want to.
We don't have to.
No.
Um, yes or no?
We can.
We don't have to. Last year was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, So Lazar Dukic passed away. He died in the first event. He drowned. Which I think threw everybody for just the God. It flipped the tables on everybody.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at the Airbnb on the couch and getting texts from people like, "Hey, like no one's seen Lazar. Also, like Jeffrey Adler's missing." And I was like, "They're gonna find him." You know, like the first thing is like, "Okay, someone's gonna find him. Like it's fine. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
because you
okay."
were there. You swam the course and
Yeah.
ran it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like it was like no one can find him. Like he never came out of the water. Like no chip timer, no nothing. I was like, they're gonna find him. Like something went wrong. He's
Yeah.
at his
Yeah.
Airbnb, like cooling off. Like you just want to believe so bad that nothing bad happened. And then like we got like the news, right? And God, that was it was surreal, hard to believe, and they brought us into the stadium that night to talk about it, whether or not we wanted to continue the games or not. And I think they already had the decision kind of played out, of like what was going to happen. And like I understand the decision that had to be made. I believe that if CrossFit had, you know, not gone through with the competition, just called it and like refunded everybody tickets, whatever, it wouldn't exist anymore. There would be no CrossFit anymore. And so from that aspect, like I think, you know, the head, whatever was at the head, probably had to make the decision to continue on. But like the mental and emotional well-being of the athletes was completely in disarray, and like in a big way. Um, and you decided to continue competing that night.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
Why?
back and forth, calling Laura Horvath, calling Spiegel, like, what do we do? I don't know what to do. Essentially, I kind of felt guilty. I had a ton of people from my hometown. A ton of people came out to see me compete, and I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna show up when y'all spent thousands of dollars to be here. So a bit of guilt. Showed up, did the thing, and then went basically all the way through Chad. Chad felt
Yeah.
horrible. It felt really wrong to honor a fallen hero when we haven't honored Lazar for passing away. And after Chad, I went back to the hotel to shower and ran into Luca, his brother. And his story was not what I had been told. Just felt horrible. And I was like, I just can't do this. So mentally, physically, I was like, I'm done. And I just made the decision to withdraw. What about you?
Um, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I continued to compete that weekend.
Okay.
The joy was completely taken out of competition.
Oh, 100%.
Um,
This is how I
the
describe it. Sorry to cut you off. I
no,
felt
go
like a
ahead.
monkey performing for the circus. It's like
Yeah,
inside I was dead, but hey, still go out there and go through the motions.
yeah. I think a lot of athletes felt that way.
Yeah.
The energy in the stadium was completely trashed. Um, like everything just was so solemn, sad, and like everyone was like kind of
Like, what do we do?
it was hard to yeah. What are we doing? Like every time you walk out on that floor, you're like, what am I doing
Yeah,
here?
you're like,
It was
why am I
weird.
here? Grammys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Does Blakely need
How
like some
did
ice cream or
you?
something over there?
No, her grandma just showed up outside, so I was like, go play with her. How did you
Awesome.
overcome that? Because it's a dark spot to be in. Even I think what some people don't realize selfishly is we ran the course and we swam the course, which is another level of processing we had to go with. How did you process it?
One of the things I thought about was like I swam over his body.
Yeah, I did too. I had to process that as
Um,
well.
and that's something that like I think about regularly actually. Like he was down there and like no one knew.
Mm-mm.
Um, that was tough. And like just people just trying to move on through the competition and like deal with the emotions. and however they could. A lot of us couldn't really handle the emotions that we were feeling and go through the motions of like being the monkey and playing perform for the circus.
Right.
I knew that like the competition was going to continue whether I continued or not.
Right.
It was my last year. Kristen was pregnant, and I had made the decision like that was the last one for sure. This would be the last chance I ever walk out on the stadium floor ever, like,
Right.
every time.
What a horrible year to go.
Yeah, that was the worst year of the games. It wasn't fun. It
Mm-mm.
wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't like the joy was stripped from it for sure. And that's okay. I also recognize that I wasn't competing, like you said, just for myself. There's family,
Yeah.
friends, the community that, I represent was there. And so I simply just tried to do the best with each event. Had probably my worst performance ever at the CrossFit Games. And I struggled with that really badly for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just slipped down the leaderboard the entire weekend and like struggled mentally with that. The fact that like that was the games that like that's gonna be my last memory of the CrossFit Games was that one.
Yeah.
Yet it is what it is, and I can only play the cards I've got that day.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it wasn't, and there was like zero joy in that weekend. You know, um, it's a weird one to think about.
It is.
Hard to process.
It is.
And it's a hard one to like walk away from for sure. Um,
It
yeah,
is.
I
But
don't
at the
really
end of
know.
the day, it's like, regardless, whatever I felt, it's not about me. Like, I can only imagine what Luca's going through. I can only
Yeah,
imagine what that family's going through. And that's the hard part because we don't see their reality that's changed every day. Showing up like wanting to train with your brother. Like my reality went back to normal and I had to kind of have a little bit of guilt processing that. Like, wow, what a blessing I get to come home alive.
yeah,
And they don't get that reality. And I think that would be the hardest part is like the 1 year anniversary is going to come up
yeah.
and like that poor family.
How are you going to approach the games this year with that being your last of like just coming out of last year?
Yeah. It'll be different. I'm hoping like I'm very mentally stable, so I'm not going to show up and just bawl, but it is going to be weird. I'm not excited for the charade of things. You know how it's like, oh, we don't know the workout. Here, we're going to release it for you and here's the spectacle and the facade that in years past were
Yeah,
really exciting. I'm hoping I don't just roll my eyes and, you know. So I'm just trying to approach it from a place of thankfulness and focus on the community. That's one thing
yeah,
I learned from last year at the games is like there's so much negativity. People are so rude online, but how can I be a light where I can be a light? Okay, I'm going to do it by sponsoring moms to show up and do local CrossFit competitions, showing up for the community that is there. So I'm trying to be more community focused this time around, whatever that looks like. Smiling for more pictures if that's what it is, waving to the crowd
yeah.
more. We'll see.
It's the community aspect of CrossFit is unlike most other sports.
Right.
I think the connection between athletes and community is massive, and you know, I do have a question. Do you think the sport will ever return to what it was in say like 2023, 2022?
Um, I hope it does, but I'm not putting any like if I had funds, I'm not putting my funds in that basket.
You're
You know
not
what I mean?
super optimistic about it.
No, not unless crazy changes are made. Because I think we were at the peak and
Yeah,
all we've done is trend down. And I don't know what it takes to go back up because I can't handle a business that's with that many thousand millions of dollars to get it to go back up,
yeah.
but it needs something.
I think this chair is so squeaky. I've got to get a new chair. Um, I my opinion of CrossFit and like the community and like just like the trend of it, it's weird to watch the sport. And this is just my opinion. It might be wrong. Um, I've watched the athletes and community tank the entire like sport and company of CrossFit. Um, because a lot of things this is just what I perceive. I'm not like super tied into it. I don't like read into it a ton. Um, but I've watched athletes, whether it's on social media or what have you, um, express pretty negative things about CrossFit HQ as a whole.
Right.
And it's trended in that direction from very big voices over and over again, and it's put a lot of pressure on the sport or the company, but it's also uh, had a lot of influence on the perspective from the community and the spectators. And it's my belief that the athletes and influential people in the sport are bringing down the spectacle and the sport and like the company, and we're having that influence on it. That's been my viewpoint on it, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong. And you can tell me I'm wrong if you want.
No, the trend I'm seeing is being a CrossFit Games athlete. That's what I am. Like, we are ruining affiliates in the community. We show up, we take over the gym, we do our thing in the corner, we make a met. Like, we are not adding to the affiliate, we're taking away from the affiliate's energy of time. Like, we're not promoting the affiliate, we're not promoting, hey community, let's come together, we're doing this. It's like we're separating ourselves in a corner. And like, that's my reality. That's why I work out at home, because I don't add anything to an affiliate. I take away because I'm very selfish and I'm going to do my training. So it's like, all I know is what the CrossFit Games athlete can do, and I feel like we're slowly just becoming like solo players in a game of chess.
How come other sports, football, basketball, none of us train in a gym with any of those professional athletes, yet the spectators and the community behind those sports is as strong and lively as ever?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Because, I mean, if you look at Steph Curry, he's not going to his local gym to train, but people love him because he's so talented.
Yeah, I've never shot hoops with him at the YMCA before.
Yeah, how dare he?
Um,
That's a good point.
yeah, I think that people love to see high performers do their thing. In fact, the gym owner here, like the gym here, loves the competitors that come out of it. Um, like they have massive support for us, and like I don't do classes all the time, especially when I was competing. I was in there in my corner doing my thing. Like I was in there for a purpose. I didn't have a lot of conversations. Yet the community, like whenever I did have a chance to talk to them, like I would. I have a lot of friends in the community. Yet they love to see people push beyond limits that they believe are like boundaries, and they love to see it. I'm not sure that the athletes are ruining the community
You
in
don't
their
think so?
local affiliates. I don't think they are.
I feel like that's
And
been my experience, so I might just be reflecting what's happened to me on a on.
and you experienced that, is that how you felt?
Yeah,
Like,
the first affiliate, like the one I made it to the games. Um, I don't want to go on here and talk bad about somebody because it's a
no.
public platform, but like, respectfully, we sat down, tried to come to terms. We could not come to terms, so I had to leave. But I think there was a bit of ego involved, a bit of wanting something I just couldn't do.
Yeah. Well, I think a large responsibility is also on the affiliate owners and the community themselves.
Right.
Like I think there's a part of it like they have to understand the sacrifices that you have to make to be at that level.
Yeah, and the
And
crazy
whenever
thing,
you,
um, like, I was a paying member. I would only train at open gym, never in the corner during a class. So even if it's like, hey, I did all I could to be right by you, but it still wasn't enough. Like, there's just
yeah,
sometimes you can't please
yeah,
certain people.
it'd be crazy if my wife was like, "Hey, I want you to work really hard and like go do this thing, but I'm gonna put a lot of limitations on you on how you can do it."
Right. You have to
And whenever
mention me.
like,
You have to talk about me in every pod, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, what resources do you need to be at the 0.001% of what we do here so that we can watch you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put the, unless you're like, you know, a dick in the affiliate and like you don't talk to anybody and like you're rude or like you don't pick up after yourself and like you're never a part of any of the gym things, like you're never a part, like you're purposefully trying to avoid the community of the gym. I think, I mean, I I'm not pointing fingers, but like it's maybe a little bit of both, like a marriage, man.
Yeah.
It's both on the athletes who aren't participating in the gym, but it's also on the affiliate and the community themselves in terms of how they support those athletes. Like, if I want you to run as fast as you can, I'm not going to put ankle weights and shackles on you,
Right.
you know? And God, I've been so blessed with every affiliate I've been a part of, pretty much, where they're like they gave insane support from the community, from the owners and from Red Stick CrossFit in Baton Rouge to CrossFit OKC in Oklahoma to CrossFit Houston in Texas to CrossFit Franco's here. Like the community, they have given me every freedom I needed, keys to the gym, whatever it is, in order for me to pursue the goal that I had.
That's awesome.
And the like the members there became good friends and things like that. But like they gave me that freedom. They didn't restrict me. And so like it's just as much on those communities to support the athletes and what they're doing.
Right.
And if you don't want your athletes to leave and go train in a garage by themselves 24/7, give them the freedom to be who they want to be inside of that gym. Like that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like it's an interesting thing. It's like we want you to be better than everybody else in the world, but we want you to do it with the like you have to abide by these rules in order to do it. Like I just
Yeah.
don't see that as being really a feasible thing or supportive for them.
No.
And it makes it that much more difficult for them to pursue their dream. So
Right.
anyway,
But we're also the anomalies. Like we have made it to the games, so like we have the success to show it. I think it'd be hard to
yeah,
combat it in a gym where you've got five different people who are trying, but like in your heart, hey, they're never going to the games. That would be a hard one to navigate. Like maybe you just need
yeah,
a class. Maybe you don't need five different programs.
yeah. I mean, I think there's like open gym times, like you said, like you abided by the
Yeah,
rules of like
yeah,
open gym. You're paying member. Um, it's not like, hey, we're gonna have 20 people doing their own thing in the corner while we're trying to do class, especially because like a lot of affiliates are they're limited on space.
yeah,
And so when you have like a handful of people doing this one thing over here and like they're distracting the actual community, yeah, it can be certainly be a problem. I've been fortunate enough, like shit, I would train outside in the smaller gyms. Like I just go outside, do what I could,
that's awesome.
um, or like build up the garage gym, whatever it was. But they were always supportive. But yeah, I mean, I do see what you're saying there. Is like, yeah, maybe there's one person who's got that potential to go to the CrossFit Games, and like you want to give them the freedom, but you can't give everybody the freedom of doing whatever they want. Then you have no structure or rules inside of the gym. So I
Yeah,
also understand that. But it's like the question is not. I think the question's got to be like, how do we make this work the best? And hopefully we can do that. And maybe there's not a way. I don't know,
yeah. Who knows?
and not in every affiliate.
Yeah.
So, what's the goal this year for you going into the CrossFit Games?
The goal this year is to be healthy. So I want to be able to walk away from the CrossFit Games. Simple as
How
that.
many more are you going for?
I have no idea. But the back half of my season is going to be really heavy. So I have the games, end of August, WFP, and then potentially Rogue in Scotland, and then the final WFP in Copenhagen. So the games is like, okay, this is part one of four. Do your best.
Where's your
So, and then we'll see what the rest of the season shakes up.
So are you singularly focused on the games right now, or like how much are you thinking about these other competitions you have coming up?
I think very much like a week in advance. So it's like the games is first. I'm going to do all I can to do my best at the games. WFP, I'm hoping my fitness will just ride itself into that one, and then I'll focus on Rogue once I officially get invited. But there's more at stake. Like there's a heavy back half of the year. I just want to be healthy and be able to show up
Yeah,
for all of them, not necessarily peak for the games and then peak again at Rogue. Like, I just don't think that's feasible.
Yeah, that's a lot of up and down from a stress and cortisol level, and
Exactly.
your body would take a pretty big beating there.
Yeah. So, I mean, top 10
Um,
tangibly, top five would be awesome. But if I could walk away from it, that's the biggest thing.
when you set goals, do you also set expectations, or are these? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say I set goals. Like, I won't determine if the games was successful based on if I get 10th place. It would be successful based on not having any regrets in workouts. So, like, knowing I could go harder, but choosing to get weak in that moment, like, that's harder to live with. So, just being proud of each effort I give in every workout.
I think that's a goal, but
You
not an
think
expectation.
the
Yeah.
goal is to give your all?
Well, I think that you said top 10 is possible. Definitely like top 5 would be amazing. Those are goals that you have. Yet an expectation would be like I'm only successful if I'm top
Mm,
10.
got it.
Well, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Um just because I think expectations can ruin the result.
Yeah. And I think
Because when
my goals change as the weekend progresses. Cause like some weekends I'll go in and be like, I want to get top five. And then I figure out really quick, like, I'm not going to get top five, be happy with top 10. Okay, top 10 is great. Like, you have to reassess the
yeah.
goals sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the goal is rooted in, you know, maybe a little bit like goal is rooted in the process and expectations are rooted in the results. And one you can control, one you can't. Like I want to be this, and in order to do that, I have to perform to my absolute best and like hit everything right.
Right.
Expectations are, regardless of like what pans out, this is where I want to be at the end.
Got it.
And that's how I think about it. And like I think that's probably a source of anxiety
Yeah, because I'm
for
like,
like myself.
now you have two different things you're thinking about that you cannot control.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can't control that outcome. So
No.
again, like those ways your mind works are just amazing, and it's led to a lot of whoa.
Zoom out.
uh, yeah, it's led. I think that's like one of the things that makes you so successful is like the way you think about things, and
Thank you.
it leads you just to being present and in the moment, and it's really beautiful.
It's good on the competition
Um,
floor, but like booking my hotel for the games, I almost couldn't find one because I waited too last minute and they were all sold out. So it has its goods and bads.
yeah. Um, the hair clip company you started two
Yeah,
companies.
yeah,
So you
essentially.
got hair clips and you've got pretty strong for a mom.
Yeah. The
Which
hair
one?
clip one, the Pretty Strong for a Mom is doing way better on paper. And it's encouraging moms. So like that one is the bread and butter because it's what's changing mental lives and all that. The hair clip one is just kind of like a niche. And I'm like, I'm gonna ride this niche as long as people like it. But it's been
Yeah,
awesome. I just found hair clips that I love, and then I bought a brander. So I brand the hair clips, package them, ship them, and it pays the mortgage every month. So to me, on paper, it's great.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No.
What's the brand of hair clips called?
Well, it's just what I found off Amazon. So it's not technically like
No,
a
your brand.
mine. Tame the Mane.
Yeah, Tame the Mane.
Tame the
And
Mane.
like, oh yeah, the lion is
Yes,
like,
the lion, like if you kind of see in the back, we have that lion in the office. So
yeah,
Loewen is German for lion. And then Dylan,
that's
my husband's name means like a lion. Ariel means lion of God. So lion is just like our family's animal. So everything I
yeah.
brand has a lion on it with Arielle Loewen in it. And so I was like, if I'm gonna do a hair clip, it's gonna have something lion. And me and Dylan came up with like tame the mane, like a lion's mane. Tame the mane and
I
train and
love
sing.
that.
And that's so good.
That is so cool that your name, Dylan's, and like
Um,
first and last name are
yeah,
all tied in to
into a
what an
lion.
incredible creature. My
Yeah.
gosh,
And I
that's
mean, if
amazing.
you know scripture like lion of God, lion is, I mean, even C.S. Lewis with the
Yep,
um Narnia,
Aslan.
like the lion. Yeah, exactly. Lion is just woven throughout everywhere.
Wow.
That's pretty
And
cool.
Pretty Fit for a Mom is really cool. I think that people love to buy into a message. They'll
Yeah.
invest in like the message behind something more so than a product. Um, and so like Pretty Fit or Pretty Strong for a Mom is really cool.
And
And I
it
love that you've like
rhymes.
started that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've had so like for me it was very superficial when I started it. I'm not the strongest professional athlete in the field, but hey, I'm pretty strong for a mom compared to all these other single ladies. But deeper than that, I've had a lot of people message me saying, like, you're right, I am strong. I've overcome this, this, and this, and this, and just like what some people have to go through. And they're like, physically, I might not look strong, but mentally, I'm strong because I've gone through this. Has encouraged me a ton and just been like, wow, people are doing it.
It's
Like, all these messages are awesome.
yeah. And you've probably, I mean, you've impacted so many people and given them hope as mothers, where like whenever you became the mom for the first time, you're like, I watch the videos, you're like, man, my body's gonna be wrecked. I'm never gonna be strong again. I'm gonna get
Yep.
heavier, whatever it is. And you're able to like garner that confidence back,
And
which
that's
is
what's
huge.
cool. And to show people that, like, you can like how you look again. It won't be 6 months after, it might not be a year, but you can be strong again and be confident in who you are. Because if you, like,
Do
I
all
couldn't imagine even a mental space of a mom who's not, like, the kids are going to see that. So if you can, like, fill up your cup, you're going to overflow and fill up your kids' cups too.
How important is it for mothers to be physically active?
I wouldn't say it's like the most important thing. The most important thing is, do you love your kid? Yes. But I think it's a more enjoyable childhood. Like, who wants to just sit and watch their kid roller skate? A kid would love to have you roller skate with them. A kid would love for you to go down the slide with them. It just creates more joy and bonding moments, I think.
Well, I also think that as humans, whenever you realize that you can do something incredibly difficult physically and overcome pain and hardship in a physical setting, you recognize, okay, I can do this emotionally. I can do this mentally. I can go through hard things and live through them and become stronger.
Yeah.
And like that physicality is just like a mirror for life.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, I think it's a great way to start gaining some of that inner confidence back by having external confidence. Um, and so, how would you, how would you, uh, how would you advise a new mother to start getting that pretty strong for a mom back?
Um, I would advise them to set tangible things they can do every week. Like, you have to take it week by week. Whether it's working out 3 times a week, do it. Working out 4 times a week, do it, because you're not going to be motivated. You're not always going to want to do it, but be disciplined enough to show up for yourself. Set a goal, a physical goal, and then also like a wellness goal. I'm not going to eat cereal. I'm going to prioritize whole foods, because you can't just show up in the gym and do amazing things and then eat out every day for lunch. You're not going to feel strong or fueled or your best. So just having tangible things you can do every week and getting rid of your excuses and doing them, because you're always going to have an excuse. The kid's going to be sick, you're going to be tired, you're not going to be motivated, but you've got to give yourself some grace. So maybe 3 days a week. So there's a few days of grace in there if you don't feel good, and then make it happen.
Is 15 minutes better than 0 minutes?
Yeah. I love the thing that's like, even if you walk, you're still beating everybody on the couch. Or even if you know that saying that they say,
Yeah,
but it's something. I'm not talking about an hour long workout. Like, go for a mile
yeah,
walk every day. That'll change your physique really quick too.
yeah. What about patience? You've alluded to that quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. If you're a new mom, it took 9 months to grow the baby. Give yourself 9 months of discipline and doing the right things to see a change. It's not going to look good after a month. It might not. If it looks good after 2 months, you're probably going too crazy and intense. You want something that you can just sustain. And it's just a normal, healthy, regardless if it's Thanksgiving, if it's December, the summer, you're just living healthy all year round. You don't want to
I
spike
love it.
it and go through crazy dips.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Last question for you. Whenever you pass away, what do you hope your daughter remembers about you?
I hope it's in a long time. Because it would suck for her to not grow up without me or with me. I hope she remembers I was intentional with my action to my time and my words. So like I wasn't a phony who just said the right thing and then once I hung up the phone acted a different way. I want her to see me like making mistakes, but hey, I'm going to work on that and she sees that I'm working on that.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I'm
Ariel,
going to try.
I mean, I think that's the thing. You know, there's you can only focus on the steps and the processes. You can't control the outcome.
Right.
The thing is, as you know, when you focus on like doing the thing, the result often comes as long as you're focusing on doing the right thing, the
Yeah.
next right thing.
But you have to do something. That's one thing I get
Always.
really frustrated is I'll talk to people that they're like, I want to look good. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing to look good? Nothing. And I'm like, well, don't complain. Don't just be a word of someone of words. Like, take action, set a goal, do the goal.
Go chase something.
Yeah,
But you're not going to catch it if your feet are still.
exactly.
Like once you start moving, you start realizing, okay, that was the wrong step. Let me step right instead of
Yep.
stepping left,
And you
and
feel
you
a little
figure
bit
it
better.
out.
Like the first minute of the EMOM sucks. Then it gets a little better.
Always.
And then once it's over, you're like, oh, I'm so proud I just did that.
I love it. One step at a time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ariel.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And as always, keep chasing.